Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. If you are new to my channel, this is going to be my journey, basically just me documenting my journey through pregnancy and all the struggles involved with having a fit pregnancy and trying to be as healthy as possible and as active as possible while pregnant, and all the struggles that go along with that. So that's basically what this channel is all about, and today I want to give you guys a recap of my first trimester because I am now in the second trimester. I am in week 17 right now. So I wanted to share with you how my first trimester went and what some of the struggles were that I went through with the first trimester. So let's rewind way back to 6 weeks. When I was 6 weeks pregnant, that's when I found out. That's when I took the pregnancy test, however, I did kind of know that I was probably around 2 weeks. And the reason I did is because I could really feel basically I could feel the embryo basically burrowing into my uterus. So I could feel that happening. And so I knew something was going on, but I wasn't sure. So that went on for, a couple weeks, and then I missed my period. And so shortly after that is when I decided to take the pregnancy test, and we found out we were pregnant. And no, we were not trying, but we were not trying. So, it's a surprise, yes, but it also is a blessing. So we have been dealing with the news and are excited to see what's ahead. So that's basically how I found out. I didn't really notice any symptoms before 6 weeks, other than I did feel bloated right away, and my abs did go away right away. So that was another indication because I was being pretty clean and consistent with my diet, but I was somehow holding on to a little extra water weight and a couple extra pounds that I didn't know where it came from. So that was another indication. So that was at 6 weeks, and then at 8 weeks is when I went to the doctor and I had my first ultrasound, and he confirmed that yes, indeed I was pregnant and that the baby was healthy. So that was at 8 weeks, and I'll go ahead and put the picture here for you guys so you can see what that was like. So that was pretty cool because obviously that's really early to get an ultrasound, but we were able to see the baby and confirm that we were indeed pregnant and that everything was okay. So that was at 8 weeks. And so as far as symptoms up until this point, after I found out we were pregnant, I did start feeling nauseous shortly after that. So around 6 to 7 weeks is when the nausea started to kick in. Now, I didn't have any crazy morning sickness. I didn't throw up ever, but I did feel nauseous pretty much consistently all day. And I did find out later that if I did not eat, it was worse. So I decided to make sure that I ate because I do get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and train clients early in the morning. And I was going straight to training just with my protein coffee. But, however, that wasn't doing the trick. I could not drink coffee at all because it made me sick. And obviously you're supposed to limit that when you're pregnant. So I decided to cut that out during the first trimester, and I decided to eat just a little tiny bowl of cereal before I went and trained. And that did help take away the nausea for a few hours. And then after I train, I would then work out, and that would kind of hold me through. So the nausea lasted pretty much all day, and if I missed a meal or if I went without eating, it did get worse. So I made sure that I ate at least every 2 to 3 hours to keep something in my stomach at all times. Sorry, my cat is pretty much tearing everything up right now. But anyways, so I ate small meals, which I normally do anyways. I normally eat 5 to 6 small meals, so it wasn't really a big change for me. And I didn't find that I had too many aversions. other than I completely avoided coffee for at least a couple months, which is healthier anyways, even though I love coffee and that was really hard for me. So during the first trimester, I did not increase my calories at all. I was still eating at maintenance, and I was tracking my macros. Now, I know not everyone tracks during pregnancy. They kind of say, oh, you know, eat when you're hungry, eat good foods to fuel your body, which I support that, but I have a history of struggling with portion sizes and overeating. So that me tracking my macros kind of kept that under control. As my appetite did start to increase throughout the first trimester, I was able to keep it pretty well under control, and up until this point I have only put on 5 pounds, which is a healthy amount, so I'm pretty happy about that with those results. And then as far as how the baby was doing at 12 weeks is when I first heard the heartbeat. He did hold up a handheld ultrasound and I was able to hear the heartbeat, so that was really special. It's always so interesting to hear an infant heartbeat because it's so quick. But that was really cool. We got to see that at 12 weeks, and then we did get another ultrasound done at the hospital that week to do some testing like for spina bifida and things like that. So that was really cool because we got some close-up pictures, and I was able to send those out in our announcement. So I'll put those in here for you guys. And then early symptoms. So throughout the first, say, couple months, there was a lot of cramping. So along with that, like burrowing feeling I was feeling the first couple weeks was a lot of cramping, kind of like you get when you're about to have your period. So it kind of feels like you're constantly about to have your period, but it never comes. So that was really annoying and frustrating. So that did go on for a couple months. And then excessive bloating, like I mentioned before. And basically the hardest symptom that I had to cope with throughout the first trimester was the extreme exhaustion. So I immediately felt like my energy was zapped. My workouts immediately were more difficult. My strength went down. I was just struggling. Like, to stay awake all day was a feat. So that was a really big challenge for me. And that was the hardest part of the first trimester because, you know, when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna lose all my muscle mass. How am I gonna stay active? You know, I was actually really, really concerned. And then my strength went down and my workouts got harder. So I was really having a hard time coping. So I'm happy to say that that's over now, but that was a really big struggle for me. And mentally and emotionally, I had a really, really hard few months. So that was probably one of the biggest things I struggled with. Along with the exhaustion, I did start getting probably around 6 to 8 weeks. And then throughout the first trimester, I did have some pretty vivid dreams. So think of dreams that it feels like you're there. Like, it feels like you are controlling the outcome of the dream. So that doesn't happen very often, or the fact that you even remember your dreams. So that was pretty interesting, and that's definitely due to the increase in hormones that are going on in the body. But I do remember having some pretty crazy dreams that I felt like I was controlling even though I was sleeping. So it was really, really strange feeling. So like I said, the biggest struggles for me during the first trimester were the nausea all day, the exhaustion, having to improvise my workouts because after 30 to 45 minutes, I was done. Like, I couldn't do any more than that. Also, my strength going down. I no longer could do so much of a bodybuilding style. I actually switched to more of a EMOM style, every minute on the minute. So that my workouts were shorter and more focused on heart rate and just getting active, basically. Also, you immediately, when you find out you're pregnant, you immediately have to stop drinking, obviously. So that was a big change because, like I said, we weren't expecting it. So it was like, bam, no more glass of wine in the evening to relax. So that was a big adjustment for me because I don't do it all the time, but it is nice to have that, especially like on the weekends, have a glass of wine and relax. Can't do that. And then also some food restrictions and supplement restrictions, which I'm gonna do a whole video that I'll post next about my diet and supplements during pregnancy, but that was a big struggle and a big change for me, was changing my supplement routine. And then also another big struggle for me during this whole trimester was eating healthy despite the cravings. Now I didn't have any crazy cravings at all, like nothing, like you hear pregnant women craving the most bizarre things. That didn't happen to me, but I did crave junk. You know, I really wanted salty foods, and just like fatty foods, like greasy foods. That just sounded good to me. So, I did have to practice some self-control and not give into that. So that was definitely a struggle. But I was able to overcome it, and for the most part, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I ate perfectly, but I did pretty much stick to my macros pretty well. And I'm pretty happy that I haven't gained a ton of weight yet because there's still a long ways to go. And then, you know, for my body size, they say it's I'll probably gain around 25 pounds, which is basically just enough for the baby and, you know, all the stuff around the baby, as well as just a little extra body fat to keep you healthy and keep the baby healthy during the pregnancy. So that's what I predict that will happen. Now, if that doesn't happen, I'm not gonna, you know, be too upset, because in the end, it's not about me, it's about the baby and what's healthy for the baby. So if I gain a few extra pounds, it's not gonna be the end of the world. I'm gonna lose it afterwards because I'm gonna continue to be active. But in the meantime, I'm going to make sure that I am eating as healthy as I can, doing what I can to get my nutrients in, and not giving into those cravings, as well as, of course, staying active. So what do I look forward to in this second trimester? That I'm a few weeks in, obviously, but what I look forward to is the increase in energy. I already have noticed a big difference in that. I'm able to pretty much stay up all day, and then my workouts are starting to get better. I'm starting to go a little bit back to normal. My nausea has subsided. Now I'll get like these little feelings of nausea here and there, and it's usually when I eat like really interesting foods, and then it's like hot or something. So usually it's just caused by the environment, so I can pretty much control that. And then the obvious growth of the baby. Obviously, my first trimester, I didn't see any like baby bump, but now I'm finally starting to see that. So that's really cool, because that kind of makes it more real, you know, because you can actually visibly see something happening. And then obviously I'm looking forward to getting back to more normal workouts and keeping my strength up. Now my focus isn't going to be building any more muscle, because obviously that's not the goal right now, but my goal is to maintain my muscle as well as I can, so that afterwards, after the pregnancy, I can kind of bounce back a little quicker. You know, of course, all depending on the health of the baby and myself. So that's just kind of a quick rundown on how the first trimester went. If you want to know more, you know, you can always feel free to message me, but I really hope you subscribe to this channel, because I'm really going to be sharing a lot with you throughout this pregnancy. This week I'm going to have 3 videos up, which is 1, the intro to my channel, 2, this video, and then 3 is going to be supplements and diet during pregnancy and how that changes throughout the pregnancy. And then next week, you can expect a second trimester update, how that's going so far, because I'll be in my 18th week. And then you also can expect a gender reveal video, because this Friday we are scheduled to do a 4D ultrasound and get a nice good picture of the baby. So really excited to get that done, and I'm really hoping to have that video up by the end of next week. So basically, I really hope that you follow along with me on this journey, because when I was researching, tips for pregnant women, like what to eat, what not to eat, what supplements to take, what exercise to do, how much is too much, there's just so much misinformation out there that it can be extremely overwhelming. So instead of charging you guys, like $100 to buy my book, I just want to share with you my journey, what I'm doing, and what's working for me. So I really hope that you guys can get something out of this. My goal is to be as real with you as possible and kind of give you some nitty-gritty details. So if it gets a little too nitty-gritty, I apologize, but that's just how it goes in pregnancy sometimes. So I'm sure you moms understand. But that's about it for this first trimester recap. Post any questions below, but I will see you guys in the next video.